Hello, this is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about this movie. I saw it on Thursday. I had no expectation if it was going to be good. The Fantastic Four, First Steps. As a movie by itself, it's actually really good. And it was the director. I was watching Chris Gore and Alan of Film Threat talk about the movie, and then they showed an interview the director did where he talked about, the production of the movie. He brought up that about Jack Kirby and everything. And he said, I think he said that they built a full-size Galactus. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's actually really good. And here's the thing. I've read the comic. So here's the thing about Reed Richards. He's a scientist. So his personality is, as people were pointing out, he's kind of a bore. Yeah, scientists are very boring. They're not very charismatic. And yeah, they kind of lock themselves, indoors and tend to not really go out. So he's also not the greatest leader of the Fantastic Four. So his real power isn't the stretchy, elastic, it's his brain. So yeah, Vanessa Kirby is actually really well cast as Sue Storm. You have Ebon Moss Bachrach. He's Ben Grimm, the Thing, and Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ralph Ineson was perfectly cast as Galactus. And then Julia Gardner plays Shalabah, the female Silver Surfer. And there are some problems in the movie. It's not perfect by any means, but how it starts out is you get a montage of them. I think it's 5 years they've been the Fantastic Four. They even show from the comic them fighting the Mole Man. That was actually really cool. The cover of the comic showed, if you look at the first comic, it literally, that scene of the thing coming out of the, out of the ground, like, oh, that's from the first comic. So they got the, Jack Kirby look. And the Earth being 828 is his birthday. It's ironic because it's also David Fincher's birthday, Jack Black, Shania Twain, Honey Boo Boo. It's also my birthday. Unfortunately, it's also the day Chadwick Boseman passed away. Before his last movie, the follow-up to Infinity War came out. And Herbie here, Matt Woods does a great job of voicing Herbie. He's not a wasted character. He's actually important to the story. And it looks exactly that 60s look of Jack Kirby and everything. And all the characters have charisma. I mean, some people said, I was hearing some people complain that, about Pedro, he's wooden in the movie. That's Reed Richards in the comic. And I actually thought the cast did actually a good job. Now, I like the fact that, there's a point where they decide, and begin the movie, we find out that Sue is pregnant, yes. And, of course, Reed, being a scientist, he doesn't know where to find anything. So she finds I think it's iodine that he's looking for, and she's pregnant. But, yeah, and then tells him that that she's pregnant. He's kind of like, huh? And they talk about, and this made them feel very genuine, because if you've ever seen a couple that struggle to get pregnant, and then suddenly they find out they're pregnant, like, we've tried, that conversation is very much organic. And, of course, they're not ready to tell anybody that she's pregnant. She's not showing yet. But, and then, of course, Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm have absolutely perfect chemistry. They work well off of each other, especially when it comes to the final battle. And they get, interestingly, there are points in the movie where you can see on Johnny's face, he kind of looks unhappy. I don't know if that was because, during the interviews and stuff he did, the actor did look kind of depressed, and it does show on his face at times. But he also shows that the other emotions, and there were the talk of this is she's a strong female, and she's the leader. In a way, in the comic, Sue Storm kind of plays the hat, because like I said, Reed Richards is not very good as a leader, being a scientist. His brain thinks of science stuff, so he's not really. She kind of does play the kind of leader. She's very charismatic. I mean, they bring in the actor who plays the Mole Man. Perfect casting job, by the way, by the actor who plays the Mole Man. He was like, and the fact that she has the ability, she works for the UN and gets him to make, to live in peace with the surface world and everything, was actually showed that she has the ability to talk to people. That plays in the movie very well. And so they're all, and Thing knows how to cook. There's nothing gay about that. Men cook all the time. So there's a point, that Johnny is, at home and Ben's cooking and everything, and he's eating cereal, and he's, and then they're late for dinner. So, Reed and Sue, and they come in, and right away as they sit down, Ben looks at her. He notices something. He says, "Are you pregnant?" And she's like, and goes, "Well, it's Reed. He can't hide it." And she goes, "Oh, I know." His face gives away that he, because he's, it is true. Pedro's face tends to give away in the movie right away. You go, "Oh, yeah, he's giving away that she's pregnant." And then, of course, you've seen the trailer, the part where he goes, "You're going to make a great mom," and then you're going to be, "No, you're out of your league." It's true. Reed Richards is not the best, let's just say he's a scientist. They kind of make, they're absentee parents because they're all in their lab and everything. And he does spend a lot of time in his lab in the comics. So, yeah. But as a family, and yes, this is a goddamn movie about a family, I know. So as they're, together, all of a sudden, they, oh yeah. The female silver, suddenly okay, and she's here saying, "Your planet to be destroyed, can be destroyed." Like, what? And she looks, the female surfer, I know it's Nordrad in the comic, but here they tried to, okay, I'll give you they wanted it clear they were trying to build a relationship between Johnny Storm and Shalla-Ba. Oh yeah, we don't know her name is Shalla-Ba. Well, we know, but in the movie we don't know her name is Shalla-Ba. We just know her as a female Silver Surfer, and in the comic she's actually Nordrad's wife. And yes, one comic she did become a Silver Surfer, but Nordrad made the decision. But here we do get the backstory of how she became the female Silver Surfer to save her world. And what I like is that, they're recording on these records, they're gold records, her language. So Johnny decided he's going to listen to this, try to figure out what her language is. He eventually figures out and understands her language. That plays in the movie. That's what I'm saying. The idea of building a relationship between those goes, no, I'll get to, yeah. So they decide to go to confront Galactus. Okay, oh my. So they fly, and they're, Galactus welcomes them, and he, and Sue Storm by that point is really quite pregnant. Everyone knows she's pregnant, and, people are like, oh, there's going to be a fifth member. So they go to confront Galactus, which I think comes from the comics. I could be wrong. I forget. But they confront him, and, Ralph Ineson, you are nightmares, because he's huge. Yes, Galactus is way bigger than Earth. So they confront him, and what most people, Ralph Ineson is one of my favorite actors, and he really does do a great job playing Galactus. And, another thing is that Sue knows that there's something going on with the baby. She knows this is not a normal child, but Reed's like, I run tests on it and it's normal. Okay. Also, she at one point uses her powers and almost overdoes it, and Reed tells her, don't do that again, or it'll kill you if you overuse your power. That plays in the movie. But this point where he keeps saying, oh, the baby's normal, I run the test. Okay, and he goes, no, I've run the test, they're normal. And this is what Galactus says. He says, no, he is hiding his power from you. Yes, Galactus knows how powerful Reed, Franklin, we don't know his name's Franklin yet, Richards, but he says he's hiding his power. This child is already smart enough to know how to hide himself from his father, yet his mother knows he's not normal. She even constantly complains that there's something off about our child because she's pregnant with him, so she would know he's different. And she's freaking out at first, but then he's like, I have an offer. Give me your child because, and I kid you not, he wants to retire. He wants to take Franklin Richards' power so that he can make Franklin Richards the new Galactus so that he can retire. This is not in the comic books at all. Galactus, no. This is probably one of the most kind of annoying things about the movie. One of the things that doesn't work is that Galactus thinks he's going to consume and right away Sue Storm says, no, you're not kidding my child, which I do appreciate. It's like, yeah, I'll spare the earth if you give me your child. So he can basically, because this baby that's still inside of her, essentially has the power to satiate his hunger so he can retire and turn Franklin into the new Galactus. That's not a good idea to begin with. So they decide to fly away. And this scene with the Silver Surfer chasing after him is really, really cool. And she goes into labor. Okay. And so what they do, and Johnny starts firing it, but because they're in kind of the space is bent, it won't hit her. It keeps missing her, which was really cool to see. And so they want to take her get towards the black hole. It's all, and when the closer they get, you can see it's affecting the ship and everything. And then her pregnancy, basically, her baby makes so Sue can, turn the ship invisible. And they use the black hole to sort of get the Silver Surfer away so they can get back to Earth. They get back to Earth, everyone's like, oh, they beat Galactus. Let's go. Yeah, when they're about to take off to confront Galactus, they're like, we're going to take Galactus on. Everybody's like, yeah. They come back and goes, well, did you beat him? Goes, no, we didn't beat him. Kind of actually funny. I mean, and then they go, well, he made an offer, but the price was too big, too much for we could not accept his deal. And they're like, what is the deal? He wants our baby, and we're not giving him up. And I knew when I was watching this, I said, this is humanity. These people are going to turn on him. And without a shred of doubt, it showed exactly, they turned on them. Okay. So Sue had, and this is where her ability to talk to people really plays in. She decides after that, give us the baby. Oh, and, I'm going, you ain't getting the child. That she goes out with Franklin and stands with the crowd, the mob, and starts talking to him, saying, this is my son. I'm not going to give him up to Galactus to save I'm not giving my son up. And she starts telling him that, family and all this, and basically calms this fucking crowd up, this murderous mob who wants to kill a baby, save themselves, and gets them to decide to work together. Yes, Sue Storm, by herself, was able to, remember, this is the woman that got the Mole Man to get a peace deal with the surface world. So, she's really charismatic. So, she calms them down, and essentially, now, the idea of what they're going to do, because, Reed Richards creates teleportation, like with an egg, but he wants to build the ability to teleport the Earth to another part of the galaxy. Well, the downside of this idea, what about the moon? The Earth needs the moon for, your oceans and a lot of other things. People don't realize how important that moon is to the Earth. So, and let's say I'll say why this is a bad idea. You teleport the Earth to another part, and it's next to a planet. Gravitation brings the planet, boom, you destroy the Earth, killing everyone. So, bad idea. And they don't give a whole lot of time for this to they speed it up so it's rapidly like, they're rushing this whole thing, and that kind of, one thing I'll say I like over all these other stupid comic book movies is that they give, from the time they confront Galactus to try to figure out how to solve the problem, that slow down. Let the people watching the movie have a chance to digest what they've just seen. Oh dear God, that's Galactus, and give the stars of the movie, the Fantastic Four, a chance to try to solve the problem, how to defeat Galactus. Okay, and then in the movie, Johnny Storm does actually able to finally figure out the language and finds out her name is Shalaba, confronts her in the movie. And speaks her in her language and calls her by her name, Shalaba. That's when we get the backstory of how she gave herself up to save her home world. But then he plays all these others, which are all the people begging, all the other planets, where these people beg for their lives, and she chose them to die, and then she flies off. That will play at the end of the movie. And so, yeah. I'm kind of all over the place. I do this a lot in my reviews. But, and the Mole Man, who I'm going to look for him. I can't remember the actor's name. He, who plays the Mole Man, I'm trying to remember, is he on here? I'm looking. Here he is. Paul Walter Hauser is perfectly cast as the Mole Man. He's great because there's a point where he comes in, Sue needs his help. So she invites him into Baxter Tower. And of course, he and Reed Richards don't like each other. And it's obvious. Reed is very offish with people. He doesn't have the charisma to talk to people like a person. So Sue tells all the others, leave, and talks to the Mole Man and gets him. He wants something. And to help so that they can, because they realize that they're going to face Galactus, they want to get the people out of the way. Okay, so they want to move them underground to where Mole Man lives. So she needs his help. And so in order to do that, she has to convince, and he says, okay, he wants something, and she gives in, the negotiations go well, so they get all the people out before Galactus gets there, and they have Galactus take his time, because, and his ship is enormous, so Galactus is huge. He's bigger than the Earth. And he has essentially, if you look at it, he has if you were to say he has an insatiable appetite, he has to devour things like planets to feed this insatiable hunger, like gluttony. And so, so when he gets to Earth, we're going to get to the final battle in New York. And like I said, Ralph Innes, perfect cast. When he goes to stand up, he detached himself, and then you notice he starts to shrink down. Because he's way bigger than the Earth, he shrinks himself down so that he can walk. Yes, so he can walk on Earth. Because, like I said, if you actually see the real Galactus, he's way bigger. He couldn't fit on Earth. He does shrink himself down. So he can walk into Europe, and drops himself down in the ocean, and it's like, oh, okay. And so they're going to confront him, and like I said in the comics, Sue kind of plays the leader because Reed's not very good at lead-in because he's a scientist, and Pedro does play him very well. Yes, Pedro's in a lot of movies, but if you just let him act, he's actually a competent actor. And he surprisingly was really good in this movie. I know, I wasn't expecting anything, came out and I enjoyed this movie. I'd probably go see it again. Hey, yeah, I think I might actually go. Even with the problems, I'll get to the problems that I had with this movie. But Sue, they want to, and before he gets there, they're starting up all they finally build all these things to create the portal, the ability to teleport the Earth, and then all of a sudden the Silver Surfer shows up and destroys them, except for the one in New York City. So they can't teleport the Earth, and they want to now lure Galactus so they can turn on the one and teleport him across the galaxy, get him away from his ship. So that's the plan. They're going to use, and Reed doesn't say it, but Sue knows, and she knows right away. He wants to use their baby, the Franklin Richards, as bait. And so she kind of decides to be the one to make that decision. Okay. So they're going to use Franklin Richards to lure Galactus. And so to the portal so that they can shove him through it and get rid of him. Because they can't kill him. They can't, so Sue Storm's going to use her ability to basically push him. Okay, and tells Reed and the others to get Franklin. Because Galactus is able to scan, he knows the child's not there. He knows where he is. He's in the tower. So she tells Reed, go and save our son. And Johnny and Ben are going to, help. So, yeah. So, as unbelievable this is, and it is unbelievable, she's pushing Galactus towards the portal, and basically Reed wants Johnny to turn it on. Ben realizes what's going on, so he starts basically breaking down a building to collapse it so that Galactus falls, slowing him down. And so when I said that it was early in the movie where Reed warns Sue not to overuse it, and he looks down, you can tell she's killing herself to push Galactus to the portal so they can get rid of him. And then it happens. She dies. Yes, Sue Storm dies in the movie. And I'm going to say something. I'll get to Franklin Richard. Oh my God, this baby. And Reed does get to his son, and he gets captured by Galactus. And Galactus is literally pulling him, and it's ripping his suit and everything. And it looks like he's about to die. And then Johnny Storm is carrying Ben Grimm, and oh yes, he has a beard. What? Yes, it's weird. It doesn't make. But in the movie, they play it as he's been using a grinder, to grind it off. And so when they have to turn off all the power, Ben can't grind off the beard. So that's why he has a beard in the movie. Okay, I kind of went along with that. Said that's kind of funny that he's been hiding the fact that he can grow a rock beard. And it's stupid, but I just okay. And so he's like begin this movie. Everybody wants Ben to say it's clobbering time, and he refused to say no. That's in the cartoon. Oh yeah, that cartoon thing comes back in the movie. And so he finally keeps pushing it. Come on, say it. He goes, no, I don't want to say it. Finally, he says it. He goes, it's clobbering time. And so they go in to attack Galactus to save Reed's life. And they do. And here's the thing. Franklin isn't terrified of Galactus. When he sees him and he's in his little protective carrier, he looks at Galactus and he's not crying. I think part of me thinks he's crying because he probably has to needs a diaper change. Because at one point his father holds him and goes, oh, you're peeing. Yeah. So babies will scream out of fear, or when they need a diaper change, or they're hungry. Any mother will tell you this. So I don't think Franklin is terrified of Galactus. I think it's he just needs a diaper change, or he's hungry. Because he looks at Galactus like, And now, so we get to yeah, they turn on the. Oh, Sue doesn't die. Well, she's pushing him, and she finally gets. They get the portal turn on, and she just pushes him through, and then collapses and dies. Yeah, Sue dies. But then Galactus starts coming through, and Johnny isn't. And I'll say something. I heard somebody. Oh, he's the only hero in the movie because what he's doing is he's gonna push Galactus through to protect his nephew. He's not doing it for the people in New York. He, like the rest of the Fantastic Four, are doing this to protect Franklin Richards. And give Ada Scott, the baby, credit. He was fantastic a baby. Actually was a good actor. I mean, usually babies are hard to have act, but this baby did a great job. Yeah, Ada Scott. Nobody seems to go, oh yeah, that baby was really good in the movie at playing, surprisingly, a baby. Yeah. So, yeah, and so he's going to push, and so I'm going to do this because this is what uncles do, protect their nephews. And so he's about to do it, and then Shia LaBeouf comes back and pushes him out of the way and uses herself to, I think the part where he makes her face what she's done, the horrors of killing other people, that's why she does this. She doesn't die, by the way. She just pushes Galactus through it so they can get rid of him, and yeah. And so then they go down and Sue's dead. She's actually dead, and they try to CPR and they can't bring her back. So then, I think it's somebody put, I forget, was it Reed? Somebody put Franklin on her chest. And you look at, and they show the baby sitting on her, and he's got his hands, and I swear to God, this baby started to smile. And then Sue comes back from the dead. Okay. So, yeah, he resurrects his mother. Now, there's people that had a problem with this. Well, they've never read the comics about Franklin Richard. I will get to that. So, yeah. So they defeat Galactus. And then we get to the mid-credit scene, where it's 5 years later, and Franklin's now 5 years old, and his mother's been reading to him. She goes to get a book, and as she's coming back, she knows something's not right. And holding ball, there's Victor Von Doom, and he's taking the mask off, and he's kneeling down, talking to Franklin. And that's obviously not Robert Downey Jr. because we don't see the face. His face is scarred up from a lab accident, which he blames Reed Richards for. Yeah, they were friends. And we do get in the movie at the UN his home country. Yeah, because they take a vote in his home country. God, Victor Von Doom. I keep forgetting what the name of his country is. It's not a real. He abstains from a vote. We abstain. So that's the first clue that, Victor Von, would I've liked to see Victor Von Doom in the movie, like them have had a battle with him, or, But then after the credits roll, the cartoon Ben, this is what's great, is they show a scene from the cartoon that Ben said that's where the grovelly voice is only is in the cart, and they do. And this cartoon kind of made me think of the Fantastic Four cartoon from back in the day, and I was like, yeah, and that's the movie. Now, I'll get to what didn't work. This movie's not perfect. It's the female Silver Surfer. Norrad in the original comic that they had with Galactus and everything, the way to defeat him absolutely was Norrad turns on Galactus and helps the Fantastic Four defeat him. And that should have been the comic they went with, because Alicia Masters, who, we hear about her father, the Puppet Master, but she is Ben Grimm's girlfriend. She's also one that sees, even though Ben Grimm is the thing, and you see in the movie he kind of feels alone because he is different looking, that she sees the human in him, and then with Norrad, she basically shows him that humanity is worth saving. That's why he ultimately turns on Galactus, and Galactus punished him by making him, he can't leave Earth, so he can never go back home. And But in this movie, the female Silver Surfer, like I said, it looked like they were wanting to build this whole relationship of Johnny, because he is, in fact, a woman. You know, you get the sense that he's still a womanizer, even though the actor said no, he's not that character. Don't let your actors speak for the movie, because they kind of hurt this movie. Pedro and Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn, they didn't help this movie when they were doing interviews. But when you see it, it's really actually good. It's like I said, here's the parts that the female Silver Surfer, like I said, is kind of wasted. There's a couple of scenes where, yeah, like when they're trying to get back to Earth and she's chasing out, that was awesome. That was great. And then her destroying all the trying to teleport the Earth, destroying all the things, cool. Where she's fucking wasted is the final act in the battle in New York. And this also is the problem with Galactus. Like I said, the original comic, the way they defeat Galactus is awesome. Here, they nerf this guy. He's this all-powerful being, and they nerf him, and yes, the whole Sue using her powers to push him back is ridiculous. It is, because she can't defeat him by herself. But here, they have her able to push this Galactus back by herself, which is stupid as shit. But I will give him credit. The fact that they have her die in the movie was actually, it's kind of a darker movie than anything they have done. I wish Ralph Ineson had more. Like, they gave him more lines, more to do as Galactus, because they didn't do like I said, they nerf him. It's really sad because Galactus is a great fucking character in the comic. And you understand why he has to do this. It's just, unfortunately, who he is. And so, yeah. And the whole teleporting the Earth, I said before, if they did, it would probably get destroyed. So this stupid idea that you're gonna literally teleport the Earth without the moon is really stupid. Yeah. That's the stuff that doesn't work in the movie. It doesn't. It makes the movie come off stupid. And I mean, Andre of Midnight Edge, that took him completely out of the movie. This unbelievable science in this movie, was stupid. I mean, I love science, and dear God, this was stupid. It didn't ruin the movie for me like Andre, but it's a dumb way to think you're going to save everyone by moving the Earth. Dumb as shit. It doesn't, and the way they beat Galactus was so goddamn pathetic. I'm like, dear God. Also, they were trying to they have Natasha Leone in here, and I guess her character is Jewish. And Ben Grimm sees her, and it looks like they're trying to build, start it doesn't go anywhere really. He likes her. The kids all want to pick a car up, and he does that, and then he starts talking to her, and then later shows up, and it's a synagogue. Okay. And she asks, are you here for counseling? Or, he goes, no, I just want to talk to you. That relationship goes nowhere, like the Johnny Storm and Shia LaBeouf relationship goes nowhere. That's the weak shit of this movie. It doesn't ruin the movie, but it's obvious they had there was a lot of editing in this movie, because you could tell they cut things. Like, this movie could have been a bit longer to give more time to, especially from when they get back to Earth to Galactus, to the final battle, could have been far better if they had the female surfer come in and help turn on Galactus, and she gets punished just like NORAD did by getting stuck on Earth. That would have been the way to do it. If you're going to use a female surfer, turn her into female, then use the fucking comic where NORAD turns on Galactus. That's how you should have done it. But no, they copped out with that, and that is, unfortunately, the worst things about this movie. Now, I'm going to bring up Franklin Richards. This baby is a god. Oh, yes, this little fucker is literally at a point in the comics. Oh, he's able to create and Galactus can create life. Yes, he can actually create life. and he can consume life. And yeah, so, but here, little Franklin Richards, Galactus, and I'll say it right now, and I was watching Desparo, and he said, well, give the baby up to Galactus. Okay, he's a baby. Anybody who's a parent knows babies get really, really, really hungry. Okay, I believe if they try to turn, if let's say Galactus succeeded by consuming and turns him in the new Galactus, okay, you're going to turn a baby into the new all-powerful Galactus. That's going to be he's going to get hungry. Yeah. So what will he do? I believe if you turned him into Galactus, Franklin, the new Galactus would consume Earth to feed his hunger. You're taking something tiny and turning it into something that immediately means that Franklin, the new Galactus, would be hungry and say goodbye to Earth. It's getting consumed. So yeah, that's a dumb idea. And so yeah, just like teleporting Earth would have been really stupid because you'd probably get the Earth destroyed by colliding with another planet. Yeah. So, like I said, Franklin Richards, because of his parents, the cosmic radiation, and Sue's right, he is different. I'll just say this. This little fucker, at a point in the comics, I think he's a toddler, actually was able to create life. He creates a pocket dimension to protect everyone. He's so powerful that the Celestials, you've all heard about them, considered him an equal, and this is fucked up. He summons Galactus by just saying his name. Galactus comes to Franklin Richards by summoning his name. He's the most powerful and broke character in all of this fucking Marvel shit. Yes, that little fucker is a god. So if you thought, yeah, Galactus is going to kill and eat Franklin, I wasn't worried about that. I didn't. I knew Franklin would be able to stop Galactus. Because remember, he said he's hiding his power. So Galactus already knows this fucking little baby is more powerful than him. Yeah. And so I actually enjoyed the movie. I had no expectation. I came out. This was a movie about the Fantastic Four, and it delivered. And I like the Jack Kirby stuff. I like the fact the director has a real fondness for Jack Kirby, and I bring Herbie into this was great. He is from the comic, and I think the name was because Jack Kirby didn't want it to be called Kirby like himself, and Stan Lee, they came to the compromise by calling it Herbie, because I think that the name was originally gonna be called Kirby, named after him, but because it's kind of like, if you've seen interviews, the little Herbie is kind of Jack Kirby. It's, if you really get it, he has a great personality in the movie, and that robot, that little fucking Herbie, is actually really cool. I liked his character, and you can see that kind of made me think of Jack Kirby. Yeah, the guy who helped, he was the artist, the guy who drew a lot of the comics along with, Stan Lee came up with the names, he wrote the story, the dialogue and everything, but Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, who created my favorite DC character, The Question, yes. John Romita Sr. and Stan Lee were the original creators of Marvel Comics. Those three men drew the comics. Stan Lee wrote the story. Yes. So and then John Romita Jr. came in and took over for his father. Yes, I know my fucking comics. And I love the Fantastic Four. I love everything about it. Their ups and downs, their tribulations, the fact that, that Victor Von Doom, yes, Reed Richards was responsible for injuring Victor Von Doom, the scar on his face. And they were friends in college, and basically his mother, Victor Von Doom's mother, is a missus. This is his power. He's 6'2" in the comic. The suit makes him 6'7". And he wears the mask to hide the scars, his face being scarred up because of the lab accident that Reed Richards was responsible for. And this is why the nerdy side of Reed is his downside, because, like I said before, that's the problem with Reed. He has a really hard time communicating himself, what's in his head, to people. Like when he says to his wife, I think about dark things all the time. It's like, okay, so he can try to figure a way to stop him. That's when she's going, oh, you want to get, and she knows right away he wants to use their son. It's like, yeah, this is what he does. Like, okay, so yeah, the whole, he's a scientist, and like when he's talking to kids and taught, these kids in a high school, he's doing his science stuff. They're bored as shit. So who wants something, see something blow up, explode? Okay. And so he does that. They all go, yay. Most people, when they talk about, I love science, but when it comes to listening to a scientist, they can bore the living shit out of you. They don't know how to read a room. He does when he realizes the kids are like, oh my God. Yeah. But, like I said, I absolutely enjoyed this movie. And the cast is good. They're solid. They have charisma. Now, it's competing with James Gunn. I am going to fucking say something. I fucking hate James Gunn. I hate Zack Snyder. I hate Abrams. I hate the Russo brothers. Because fuck Avengers Doomsday. First of all, fuck you. Your Channing Tatum are not Gambit. Gambit's my favorite X-Men, and Rogue is my favorite female X-Men. Yeah, I've said this before. I have 2 Gambit t-shirts. Is that Channing Tatum doesn't look, I don't care. Tyler Kirsch, who played Gambit in the Wolverine origin story, he should have been Gambit. He is perfect for the role. He even had the accent, the Cajun accent. Channing Tatum can't act, so fuck that movie, and I know it's going to be a piece of shit. I ain't planning to see it. It's like I didn't see the follow-up to the Infinity War. And after seeing that movie, I hated that fucking movie. I hated what they did to the children of Thanos. Thanos wasn't even fucking Thanos. Oh, I'm doing this because it's overpopulation. Fuck you, Russos. Thanos did it because he was in love with Lady Death. And by the way, fucking James Gunn, Nebula is not a cyborg. She's fucking Thanos' granddaughter. They don't even put that in the movie. Why is she a cyborg? And Karen Gillian is a beautiful woman. Let her look, yeah. And Gamora was not raised by Thanos. No, she wants to kill him because he killed all of her people, just like Thanos' grandfather created Drax the Destroyer to kill Thanos. He wanted to kill his grandson. I think, yeah, because Thanos is powerful. Not against Darkseid. Darkseid would kill Thanos. Hell, Franklin Richards could kill Thanos. Hell. And the stones are not created. They already exist. And I hate the names they created for these. Fucking change the names of the Infinity Stones. Oh, the Tesseract. Oh, Cosmic Cube, you moron. Yeah. And James Gunn's, I'm going to call it Stupid Man, just like Zack Snyder's Stupid Man. Okay, Christopher Reeves will always be Superman. Why? He had charisma. And he didn't have all the muscles that you see from the comic. That's not the point. The muscles don't make Superman strong. The sun does. The problem with James Gunn and Zack Snyder is that they think everything going fast makes a good movie. No, it doesn't. You shove all these characters, you make all the action hit you in the face. People love shiny things. Pavlovians, idiots. It's like the modern day wrestling fan. The problem with that is they don't give you time to slow things down and go, okay, no. So in James Gunn's Stupid Man, and I haven't seen it, and I don't plan to see it, because it's stupid. This is the problem with modern comic book movies in fucking general, just like Aquaman. You have a Samoan playing an Atlantean, which is a European, you fucking morons. And he looks like Aquaman 64. Fuck off, that game was terrible. But I don't know David Cornsway. I know nothing about the guy, but he doesn't come off as Superman. The suit is that new 52 dog shit, like with the Batman suit. I hate the new 52. They had that shit in the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. I fucking hate that ugly shit. But dear God, Superman gets his ass kicked. His cousin, a drunk, who's older than him, by the way, in the comics. No, James Gunn goes, no, she's younger. She's drunk in the movie and calls him a bitch. Lois Lane talks down to him. The dog that's not Crypto, the baby Yoda, argues with him. Yes, the others have to save him. He's not the hero of his own story. He's He's the background dancer to all the other characters who are more interested. And they're all, some of them are one note. It's a terrible movie. But idiots, when I like the shiny fast thing. Yeah, you do. You don't like a story that takes its time. That's the difference between, and it didn't have the fast-paced action. It's not meant to. So that's why this movie worked. With its flaws, it's still better than fucking The Stupid Man. Because that movie was shit. And fucking James Gunn can eat shit. His super stupid girl is going to be as dumb because she's an alcoholic. Oh, okay. Yeah, his universe can eat shit just like Zack Snyder's fucking universe. But this movie did something as its own movie. It's the best thing that they have put out fucking ever. That Marvel Studios has actually put out that's good. I have not liked anything in this studio because they fuck it all up. Iron Man was good, and it wasn't done by Marvel. It was done by put out by Paramount, and they made one change. He made the location where Tony Stark gets injured from Vietnam to Afghanistan. And then that, it follows the comic. The sequel was shit. The third can fuck right off that. Oh my god, what the fuck? And then fucking Captain America, it's okay. I mean, it was fine, but the sequel was shit because Winter Soldier was created by the Russians, not by... I hate that fucking movie. And Scarlett Johansson, that's how you pronounce it, Johansson, not Johansson. Danish idiots, learn, yeah. Her father was a Danish painter, yeah. Is that she was good in one movie, and I'm not joking, it was The Prestige, Nolan's only great movie he ever directed. Every other movie Nolan did can get a fucking finger. You know how bad a movie is when you watch and you go, I don't need to see that again. I have no intention, I don't need to see in any of Nolan's other films. They're not good, except for The Prestige. I own the DVD. But yeah. So why not hire a Russian? Because she can't do a Russian accent. She's not believable as Natasha, the Black Widow. It's like, oh. And I just don't fucking like Mark Ruffalo. He wasn't the Hulk. He sucked. Should have brought back, the actor who played him in the Hulk, Ang Lee's film, because, yeah, good actor, gets forgotten for garbage. So here they actually did a good job with the movie. Casting was good. Just wish they had done more with Galactus, had a better ending. Overall, the movie's enjoyable. Yeah. I prefer this than anything James Gunn does, because he's dog shit at everything he does. Oh my god, everything's fast. Shiny thing, look at the shiny thing. Dumb people like fucking The Stupid Man. It's stupid. He isn't the hero. He gets beat up at the beginning and treated like shit by everyone. That's not how you treat Superman. It's just dumb. Richard Donner understood. And first of all, just to clear things up, Gotham is New York City and Metropolis is Cleveland, Ohio, because the creators of Superman were from Cleveland, Ohio. That's right, Cleveland, Ohio is Metropolis, not New York City. So there it clears up that big thing. So fuck you, Snyder, fuck you, Gunn, fuck this dog shit, and fuck the Russos. Chad Tatum isn't fucking Gambit. No, Kyler Kirsch is Gambit. Oh, and just to fucking hit this, if I were to cast the Batman, I already know who I'd cast as Batman. I'll say it right now. When I saw this man build his own gaming PC, I said, he's got the brains, he can do the action sequences, he would be Bruce Wayne / Batman outright. That's Henry Cavill. Yes, let the man's brains come through. He put a gaming PC together. Dear God, Sarah, Star Wars girl who likes to eat dirt and everything, got salivated over him putting a gaming PC, and all he did was look at instructions. I couldn't even. I might be able to do it if I had the, but he literally put his own gaming PC together. He plays games. He's smart. I would have him play Bruce Wayne / Batman instead of Superman. But yeah, this is Gilgamesh. I just wanted to do this review because I enjoyed the movie. I recommend people see it. It's actually better than Stupid Man. So yeah, The cast is really good. Once again, Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. I initially said, oh, he's Pedro playing, but the more I thought about it, I said, no, he actually played the character the way he is in the comic, and anybody who's read the comic would know Reed Richards has the personality of a plank of wood. Yes. And so that's why he worked as Reed Richards. Does he look like him? Fuck no. But did he play him competently and actually embody Reed Richards in the comic? Absolutely. I was actually surprised how good he was in the role. So I did enjoy the movie. Far better than anything Marvel's put out. So yeah, I mean, this is a Marvel. I love this movie as a standalone film. I hate the fact that it's leading into the dog shit called Doomsday. Fuck you, James Gunn. Fuck you, Russo brothers. Yeah, fuck you, James Gunn. You said you went to a pedophile-themed party. I'm never going to let that go. And you put tweets out, and you had to then say, oh, no, I'm just joking about little girls and their vaginas. Something about little girls and their pubic hair and everything. It was really fucked up, and he had to then say, no, I was just joking. They're jokes, everyone. No, you're a sick, deviant fuck, like Francis Ford Coppola. But yeah, this is Gilgamesh. You can find me on Rumble under Gilgamesh. You can find me on BitChute under Gilgamesh 1, on Odyssey under Gilgamesh. Yeah, I also have a locals channel if you want to go there. I'm not on Twitter. They banned my ass, which I'm fine with. I don't use Twitter, you know. So, yeah. So I will talk to you later. Bye.